Alright, so I'm working on Way Cool Junior today, and I've had this problem where the transmission keeps popping out of gear. Now this is an early GMT 400 truck, so it's got a column shift with a rod assembly here. This rod here comes down and shifts the transmission. Well, I got some headers on this thing, and come to find out, that flange right there, if I can get a better view of it, the header flange right here was hitting the shifter. I kept losing the cotter pin on this end here, and these nuts keep backing off. You can see I'm missing a nut on this one right now. I'm gonna have to go find another nut to put on it. So I had this at the exhaust shop a couple weeks ago, and the guy was looking at it and he didn't want to mess with it. So my solution was, I came in here and I welded this flange to the header on both sides. I tried without jacking up the truck at first, and you can't weld out of position. You got to jack the truck up to do this. But I jacked it up, got the weld on both sides, and I got my Dremel-like tool, and I came here on top and I ground this down all the way across, and it's way out of position. I had to get the longest bit, fattest bit, and chuck it up the best I could. I had to move the rod. I pulled it out and hung it out of the way back there, but I got this done. So my symptoms were, whenever I romped on the gas, the transmission would jump out of gear, and what it is the engine torques over, it lifts this driver's side exhaust manifold, or exhaust header, and it hits this rod, and it would just bump it. So yeah, if you run into symptoms like that, you know, if you got to think these things through, think through the mechanical bit of it. It took me a while to figure out why I kept going into neutral every time I romped on it, and you know, with the other clues of the cotter pin busting off and whatnot, I put two and two together. But you know, you got to think creatively on the solutions, though. Now I could take this back. The exhaust ends right there at the mufflers, and I really wanted to go over the rear axles and out, and I want to quiet it down. I've got another muffler to add on, so I'm gonna go talk to the exhaust shop guy, and he's needing some work right now, so I'm gonna see if he can finish out my exhaust and get him some work and get this thing a little quieter, because it is awfully loud going down the road.